Three, two, one, action. Welcome back to episode 49 of As Seen on Screen. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Gracie, and we are your source for all things entertainment news, reviews, interviews, and more.
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube. Well, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. We are so glad you're here. And today is a very special episode because we are celebrating a milestone here. It is officially 1 year of As Seen on Screen. It is our anniversary episode, episode 49. We were one off from 50. That would have been so serendipitous, but that's okay.
It's
Uh,
the thought that counts.
exactly. Technically, I think we have like 50 something episodes out because we release interviews without numbering them.
The half episodes. If you put the half episodes together, we definitely have
We're
50.
basically almost at 60. So, but we just want to thank all of you who watch and subscribe. Thank you so much for the support over the last year. Gracie and I have loved making the show, and we are so looking forward to everything the next year has ahead of us. But we are keen on celebrating the anniversary today. So we thought we would quickly discuss some of our favorite episodes and favorite memories from this past year. So I'm gonna hand it over to Gracie first. I'll put her in the spot first.
Oh,
What has been your favorite as seen on screen memory of this past year?
there's so many. I feel like we've had so many moments where we've texted or like called each other after recording an episode and been like, what just happened?
Yeah.
The first one that comes into my mind though is the one that constantly comes up, which is the screening of The Idea of You.
Episode 1.
Episode one, shout out to Nicholas Galitzine for doing 1 year with us.
I'm pretty sure
Um,
Gracie has done a really good job of bringing him up at least half of the episodes we've put out on
I'm
the
honestly
here.
shocked with my consistency for that man. But you know what? If that's not a petition to get him on, I don't know what is.
That's our goal for next year.
But interview-wise, I mean, we've had some great interviews. We've talked to a lot of fantastic people. So I think that's cool in general. Obviously, Tiff was killer for us as individuals, but also as seen on screen. The first one that comes to my mind, and I might be biased. Actually, there's two. There's two that come to mind, and I might be biased for both of these. Number one, Disrepair, because that was like our first in-person
Yes.
junket, if
Yeah.
I'm remembering correctly,
Yeah.
and we crushed it.
We're
So,
like, don't pat ourselves on the shoulder or anything, but
pat yourself on the back. That was a good one. And I feel like it was just such a good quality conversation.
yeah.
And it, I mean, at least for us, we built strong relationships with the guys in the TV show. So that's great. But also keeping it with TV shows, Ghosting season two was like the
Yeah.
most fun. I mean, every time I talk to Matthew and Luke, I am just so hyper and so full of life. So the fact that I got to do it with you and we just literally sat there and yapped for like an hour was the best. So I'm gonna say those are like key points for me. But, and obviously all the screenings we went to too, except for Nicole being in Australia. That kind of sucks. But the screenings we've been invited to, the progress we love. But what was your moments, Nicole? As I name like 12.
So you took up a lot of them. So I will agree with you on, I mean, everything you just said. I agree. I love all of our interviews we've done. I really enjoyed the Your Monster Junket. It was the shortest interview I've ever done. It was 5 minutes long. But you know what? Those 5 minutes we made it count.
Mm,
We made those 5 minutes count. The Your Monster one was great. I agree. Disrepair and Ghosting were both fantastic. Oh man, I'm like, well, I don't want to forget anything. Jordan Bohan, our friend, we met
yeah.
last in 2024. She came on the podcast early last year. She was like episode 7, I think, if I'm remembering
Shout
correctly.
out to Jordan for being our first guest.
Yeah, she's a real one.
She is.
She was so great to talk to, but I mean, I agree. All of our interviews have been awesome. I loved the one we did for the movie Oki because not only were all three of them so insightful, but I do love Scott in Greek. But that was a lot.
So, what I'm hearing is Nicole's favorite points of As Seen on Screen were the ones that I was not able to attend.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to shout out all of our different interviews. Okay, I loved the one with Jeremy Jasper for Odessa. The background of that was my favorite background I've seen in a junket. I
That's
love
so true. You
that
would
whole
not shut up about that background. You were like, this is the coolest background I've ever seen. Meanwhile, they're there like pressing buttons. Like, okay.
But our Taylor Swift special was fun after the Eras tour. I did love doing that. That was a lot of fun. I have to shout out our field trip to the Highland Cinema. That was a
Right,
memory
yeah.
Gracie and I will not forget for many reasons.
For many reasons.
That was an experience. And just being able to create the show has been so fun and learning, trying to learn the ins and outs of podcasting, and we still have lots to learn. We still have lots to learn, but it has been fun working on those skills this past year and just being able to work with Gracie. So
Uh,
I'm just so proud of the progress we've made over the past year and the relationships that we've built with other people and the interviews that we've done, and the connections we have made, like you said, with like screenings and stuff like that, different companies and like the connections we've made with different media companies, I think have been great and distribution companies. So I'm just very proud of us. I didn't know going into it what it was gonna be like, what steps we were gonna have to take. Like I didn't know the world of podcasting enough to know what was gonna happen in the last year, but I'm very proud of us.
I am proud. We've accomplished quite a bit. And like, as you said, we're still learning.
Well, all that's to say, we've very much enjoyed creating this podcast, and we are looking so forward to the next year of the show. So, to celebrate the anniversary, we thought we'd bring back one of our favorite games we've played. This is, well, at least this is one of my favorite games because I play it outside of the podcast too.
You do.
But the fifth degree of separation game we played a while back last summer. If you've been listening for that long, you might remember. We will each take turns naming two actors, and the other one of us has to name movies starting with one actor that they've been in and connect them by films to the other person that we've named.
I suck at this game,
No,
so
you did great the first time we played.
thanks.
Okay,
I'm
I
like,
am going to give you Steve Carell
okay.
and Rebel Wilson.
Mm, okay. The first thing that Steve Carell goes to for me, and this is solely because of Nicole, is Despicable Me.
You,
Okay. I have to think about this.
A few moments later.
I'm gonna try and speak this out to myself. Steve Carell, Crazy Stupid Love with a lot of people. I'm gonna go Ryan Gosling because I love a good Ryan Gosling. And he was in Barbie. Like, hey, if I say Barbie, there's like 50 people in that I could just say someone. Okay, I'm trying to think of what Rebel Wilson has been in other than Pitch Perfect because my brain just goes blank. I know she was in The Hustle. Oh, give me a minute.
12 seconds later.
Here we go. Here we go.
go for it, girl.
It all goes back to Anna Kendrick. Here we go. All right. So, Steve Carell. I was thinking Despicable Me, but we were thinking the wrong animated movie. Okay.
Okay.
He was in If with Ryan Reynolds.
Hmm.
Ryan Reynolds worked with Blake Lively in Green Lantern. Then Blake Lively worked with Anna Kendrick in A Simple Favor. Then Anna Kendrick worked with Rebel Wilson in Pitch Perfect.
Love it. Perfect.
Your people are Seth Rogen
Okay.
and Joey King.
Ooh. Okay.
6.5 hours later.
Oh. Oh. Oh, wait. Easy. Easy. Seth Rogen is in The 40-Year-Old Virgin with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is in Death of a Unicorn with Will Poulter, and Will Poulter is in On Swift Horses with Jacob Elordi, and Jacob Elordi was in The Kissing Booth with Joey King.
That's crazy. You want to know what else is easier?
But
Seth Rogen was in Horton Hears a Who with Joey King.
I was unaware either of them were in Horton Hears a Who. Okay, for your second and last one, I will give you I will give you Zac Efron
Mm,
and Reese Witherspoon.
mm, okay. Let me summon the gods. You know when you feel like there's something you're missing, and then you're like, now I'm just overthinking it.
Day 2.
Okay, here we go.
You got it.
Zac Efron was in 17 again with Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry worked with Jennifer Aniston on Friends, and Jennifer Aniston worked on the morning show with Reese Witherspoon.
Woohoo! Didn't Reese Witherspoon also guest star on Friends?
She was also her sister on Friends.
Yeah.
Yay, double whammy. Your people are I'm gonna do Tom Hardy, and then I'm gonna do Matthew McConaughey.
Okay. All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
One eternity later.
Wait a minute. Brink of it. I can feel it.
3 days later.
I got it. Are you ready for this? Your mind's about to be blown.
Yeah, all right, if it is.
Matthew McConaughey is in Interstellar, Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet is in Dune with Austin Butler. Austin Butler is in Elvis with Olivia DeJonge. As I'm editing this, I realized this is where I could have stopped because, of course, Austin Butler is in The Bike Riders with Tom Hardy. But we'll keep going. Olivia DeJonge is in The Narrow Road to the Deep North, Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi, and I'm like, where am I going with this? Jacob Elordi is in On Swift Horses with Daisy Edgar Jones. Daisy Edgar Jones is in Twisters with Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell is in Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is in Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is in Baby Girl with Harris Dickinson. Harris Dickinson is in The Triangle of Sadness with Woody Harrelson. And Woody Harrelson is in Venom, the first Venom with Tom Hardy.
He is. Wait, wasn't he in the second Venom?
Maybe. I don't know. One of them.
Either way, he was in Venom. Good job.
Wow. I broke a sweat doing that one.
She was worried for her reputation. You crushed that.
We both did. That was fun. That was frustratingly fun. All that's to say, thank you again for all the love and support over the past year. We love this show. We hope you love it as much as we do, and we can't wait to keep sharing over years to come. But starting off with our first bit of actual news today. The summer turned pretty fans. Well, I was about to say we've been fed, but I feel like half of
We
us
have not.
are.
Food was stale.
We got the first official teaser trailer for the third and final season, which is releasing to Prime Video on July 16th. Anyone who is a fan of Jeremiah and Belly, A, I'm concerned for you. B, you were probably very happy after that teaser trailer, but maybe you're not. Because then us Conrad girlies had about 5 seconds
We're
of the
fighting for our lives out here.
trailer. And you know what? I agree with the entirety of Conrad on the internet that there was more chemistry in the last 5 seconds of that trailer between Belly and Conrad than there was in the first 40 seconds of Jeremiah and Belly.
I have so many thoughts about this. Number one, love the fact that they used Taylor Swift because, as we know, I've been saying I need new Taylor Swift music in the new season. Obviously, this wasn't new music, but I do need to say the transition from daylight to red literally brings me to tears thinking about it. Like, that was so beautiful. They had no right because it says, for those of you who don't know, that Daylight is like such an iconic song. But it goes, I once believed love would be burning red. And that's when she's still with Jeremiah. And then Comrade comes on the screen and the song Red starts playing where it's like, and loving him was red. Like, oh, thank you for confirming that we're ending with Conrad. Thank you. That was all the confirmation I needed to know how this show ends. But also, if it doesn't end like that, I will be canceling my subscription. So that's one thing that I loved. But the second thing, obviously, like I wasn't too thrilled about majority of it being Jeremiah and Belly. But I keep seeing posts where it's like, okay, now if Jeremiah was ugly, Would you still be Team Jeremiah? And I have that question for everybody who's on Team Jeremiah. If he was ugly and still treated her like crap, would you still be on his team? I don't think so.
I keep seeing TikToks with edited to Taylor Swift's Enchanted. And specifically the lines that now I'm pacing back and forth, wishing you were at my door.
Open up and you would say,
Hey!
hey.
And that's exactly what he says in the trailer. And so I think that is so accurate.
I know exactly what edit you're talking about too.
I've seen so many. Oh, whoever
Oh,
actually came up with that is a genius. Also, I need to say that I started watching the show over again because I was looking for an easy rewatch to have in the background on sometimes. And
mm.
Conrad has been yearning for Belly since episode
Bring back yearning.
I
Bring back yearning.
I forgot how hard that man flirted with her from episode 1, from the gates. Listen, neither Conrad nor Jeremiah are perfect. Belly, I've said this before, also not perfect herself. No one's perfect. They're teenagers, you know? They all make mistakes, what have you. But listen, Conrad, it is so obvious how much he is just infatuated with Belly. And even
Big
though
word.
maybe to Belly it's not that obvious, which I get. When it's you, it's never that obvious. But that man has been yearning for Belly since episode 1, and I cannot wait for the downfall of Jeremiah Fisher.
Yeah.
Belly and Conrad to finally stay together.
I I keep seeing the TikTok edits and it's with audio from like the actual book where it's Jeremiah basically just whining and he's
Yes.
like Conrad never paid attention to Belly and then it flashes to all the times that Jeremiah ditched Belly for other people and Conrad was like, "Here, let me help you. Here, let me teach you how to dance. Here, let me support you." Like, Jeremiah, shut up.
The truest thing about that show is Jeremiah didn't want Belly until Conrad had
You
her.
turn pretty.
Listen, Conrad has wanted her since they were young.
What, since she had glasses and braces?
Yeah. And
Like,
Jeremiah only actually wanted Belly, actively was romantically seeking out Belly's interest once he knew that Conrad had her interest.
listen, I know how the downfall of Jeremiah starts, and it's the fact that Conrad figures it out first that is the most iconic thing to me. Like, yes, sir, you go get your woman back. But yeah, no, we're here for the downfall of Jeremiah. I keep thinking of it as Nicole will know this reference. You know, when Gru and Minions is like, Minions, tonight we steal the moon. And
Yeah.
then everybody's like, yeah. That's literally people being like, downfall of Conrad or downfall of Jeremiah. And we all go, yeah.
Yeah. I am so ready. But if we are all so delusional and this is not how this goes at all, and Conrad girlies are just delusional, it'll be a sad day. But I firmly believe, based on that teaser trailer, also that second poster that we got, and the references that they're giving it to the Audrey Hepburn movie. Sabrina, starring Audrey Hepburn, which Cam Cameron and Belly actually go and watch at the drive-in, if you remember, in season 1. This reference is amazing. And I always laugh that Susanna is also fully a Conrad girly. Like, imagine your own mother
Literally, Jeremiah
wanting
was like,
you.
Mom, if you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for Susanna. It was literally her dying wish.
All this is to say, Gracie and I are on the edge of our seat for July 15th. Prime Video, we love you, and we cannot wait for the summer I turned pretty. But another little tie-in to everything we just said, Lola Tung is also in I Know What You Did Last Summer, this new one coming out. So I'm officially calling this a Lola Tung summer.
I like that.
It
She's
is.
also in another movie that's coming out, but
She
we don't
is
have a release date
Lily
for that one yet.
Reinhart, TikTok.
So yeah, it is a Lola summer.
Last year was Brat Summer. This summer is Lola Tung Summer because we not only have the end of Belly's story, but also her character in I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I'm very excited to see her all on our screens all summer long. I think she's such an amazing actress, and I'm very excited to see where the rest of her career takes her. Like you said, I'm excited to see this upcoming project she has with Lily Reinhart. Um, I loved watching the clips with her in Hadestown when she was on stage town. She killed it. So I'm in love with everything that she does. So Lola Tung Summer, it's officially
We have the first official trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer, the new one. Honestly, it looks pretty solid.
I am optimistically very excited for this. I am so ready to see our girl Madeline Klein as
Mm-hmm.
the final girl. I believe
Mm-hmm.
our final girl for this movie, and I am so excited to see her kill this role. She's been posting about it, and I love all of her posts about it. You could just tell the pure excitement she has for this film, which I've always said in the past, when the actor is so actively excited about their role and just so proud of their work, it always shines through. And so I know she's gonna kill it. Also, I love the references to the original films. Jennifer Love Hewitt, our original I Know What You Did Last Summer, Final Girl, is back. Also, Freddie Prinze Jr. is also back in it. I love everyone on the internet speculating that Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be in it. But guys, do you remember that she died in the first movie? I just need to point that out to you.
Okay, and people die in movies all the time and then they somehow come back. Like, you're acting like this is a new thing.
No, but this is not. I don't think this is the type of movie for it. But maybe you never know.
You never know. I don't know. I love that we finally have like sensible characters in horror movies. Because the one clip of Freddie Prinze Jr. being like, "This has happened before. Are you guys stupid?" Wow, someone already understands the entire plot. Thank you so much for your hard work. What do we have next, Nicole? Keeping it with the trailers.
Listen, summer vibes and the teaser trailers were here this week because we also got the first teaser trailer for We Were Liars, which is, of course, an adaptation of the novel of the same name, and the show is releasing to Prime Video on June 18th. Now, neither Gracie or I have read this book, but I mean, I feel like through TikTok I've seen so much of it and I can get like the gist of what this book is about. But it is a mystery, like thriller show with a group of teenagers that live on this beachside town. So I am intrigued to see what the show is all about because, as we know, crime, thrillers, mysteries are totally my genre. So I'm excited to see what they bring with this one as well.
Keeping it on track of We Were Liars, a lovely actor named Joseph Zeta is in the show, but I feel like he had an even bigger announcement, in my opinion, personally.
Agreed.
It was revealed that he will be playing young Haymitch in the upcoming film The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, which is obviously based off of the new novel of the same name. Listen, I've been eating up these casting things. Every time they post a new one, I'm like, yes, we love it. Perfect. And they have announced a few other people. They've only really gone with the major cast right now, but I'm excited to see who they do with like the smaller characters because obviously they have big roles too. But nonetheless, we have Whitney Peak is portraying Lenore Dove Baird. McKenna Grace is still making blonde girls fight for their lives in the audition room. She will be portraying Maisie Donner, and honestly, perfect casting. I love this woman. She can do no wrong. And most recently, we've gotten Jesse Plemons is portraying a young Plutarch Heavensby, and this casting is like perfection. Speechless. But what do you think of this? I know I'm a bit further in the book than you are. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
I do love it. I haven't gotten to the part where we have seen too much of Plutarch yet. But other than that, I think that I mean, but based off of what we obviously the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, him and Jesse Plemons, I've seen some really different photos of them side by side this week, and I think they look so similar. So I think that's a great casting for a young version of him in this film. But I think that Joseph Whitney and McKenna are all such great casting for the other three. I'm very excited to see. I seen a lot on X and Instagram this week, people talking about how they love when young, like not as well known actors get roles like this in what are going to be massive films. Hunger
Mhm.
Games, obviously one of the biggest franchises, I would argue, of recent time for films. And it's exciting to see, especially what Joseph and Whitney are going to be like in their roles. I'm so excited to see them on the screen. Um, like you said, everyone knows and loves McKenna Grace. McKenna Grace is just spectacular in everything that she does. So I'm very excited to see her in that, and I do love Jesse Plemons too. So I am very happy with this casting so far, and next November can't come fast enough because I am so ready for this film.
You're telling me. Like, I have been waiting for this. And yeah, I'm not surprised really by any of this casting. I'm just hoping and praying it stays strong because like all it takes is one person to be like, that's kind of questionable.
I'm still pulling for Ralph Fiennes for President Snow.
There's been rumors Ralph Fiennes as President Snow, Kieran Culkin as Caesar
Yes. Oh,
Flickerman.
he would be so.
And I just saw a new one. People are rumoring Emma Thompson as the District 12 like speaker, the one that's kind of like an FE
Yeah,
2.0.
yeah.
And I see that too.
I like everything that I'm hearing right now. That sounds good to me.
Long story short, we gotta listen to the fans more because these fan castings, killer.
Well, we hope you are as happy with these Hunger Games castings as we are, but moving into other casting announcements, Ayo Edebiri and Will Sharp have been announced to star in upcoming Apple TV Plus romantic comedy series, Prodigies. And I love my girl Ayo. I love Will and his projects as well, but Ayo Edebiri, I am so glad we are seeing her once again on our screen. I think she's a fantastic actress. So I'm very excited to see these two in a romantic comedy series.
Also, a new duo coming to screen. We have Charles Melton and Sophie Thatcher are starring in an upcoming neon thriller, Her Private Hell. And Nicholas Winding Refn is directing. Obviously, Charles Melton is like having a moment right now, but so is Sophie Thatcher. So I feel like this just makes sense.
Well, and Sophie Thatcher is our certified horror thriller girl. I love
Real.
her in all of these roles. I mean, we've had Companion, we've had Heretic, we've had Yellow Jackets. This girl knows her niche and she kills it in them.
As she should.
Well, moving over to some announcements for film and television, starting off with Netflix. Everyone who was a fan of Heartstopper was hoping for a season 4 announcement, and they kind of got it. Netflix has
Question mark?
announced Netflix has announced that a Heartstopper movie is in the works in place of a season 4, and this movie will serve as the show's finale. So if you're a fan of Heartstopper, don't worry, all the original cast is coming back for this film, but in lieu of an actual full season 4, you are getting a movie. Which Gracie and I were talking about this when this announcement came out, and personally, I I don't know. I haven't watched Heartstopper, but if I was waiting for a last season or next season of a show that I liked and they announced a movie instead, I would kind of be upset because you're getting way less.
This just seems like a robbery of like the fans' love because yeah, you're getting way less. There's no way to make it seem better than it is. Like personally, I've watched Heartstopper. I wouldn't consider myself a diehard fan, but I know there are people who are like thoroughly invested into this show and it means a lot to them. Everybody has that show that means a lot to them. My problem with this is how are you gonna go from giving like 8 hour long episodes to one, maybe 2 hour movie? That just seems like such a ripoff for the fans. And like they're trying to pitch it as this big thing. Unless the movie is gonna be like 8 hours long and I'm still getting the same amount of stuff that I got in the TV show. And a TV show gives me more time to delve into like the pointless stuff that might be important later, might not be important later. I don't know. This just feel it feels like a cop out to me where they were like, "Hey, we want to get this done. So let's just do a movie and pitch it as like, oh, this is so great of us to do a big grand movie."
Yeah, I agree with Gracie because Heartstopper episodes are typically between 25 to 30 minutes each. And so the last season, season 3, had, like Gracie said, I think, 8 episodes. So that's about 4 hours of television, roughly. A movie is not going to be 4 hours. So, yeah, all that's to say, I think Gracie and I are on the same page that it seems like a ripoff.
We'll see. Only time will tell.
But what's our next casting update in a different bit of a type of show?
I mean, Dancing with the Stars is coming back as it does every year, and this year's first celebrity cast member that's been announced for season 34 is Robert Irwin. This comes right after that very lovely photo shoot he did.
On
Yeah, there we go. I'm not shocked because I feel like I saw a TikTok where someone was like, next season, this person's definitely going to be on it. But besides the fact, his sister, Bindi Irwin, won the Mirror Ball Trophy in season 21 when she was partnered with Derek Huff. So there is hope for this man that he could win and we could have like a sibling winning type title. But I'm excited to see who else they bring on because I feel like there's so many good opportunities.
Yeah, and I think fans undoubtedly want Robert to be paired with Riley. That's what I mostly see on TikTok.
Mhm.
I've seen a few people say Jenna. I would personally love to see him with Riley because I think Riley's such a fantastic dancer, and I think Robert may also have a pair of dancing shoes in his closet. You never know; he might be a great dancer too. I kind of get that vibe. So, I'm excited to see what he brings to it. Like you said, I'm excited to see who else gets announced as celebrity cast members for season 34. I wish they would bring back dual season years because when I was younger, we had the 2 seasons every year. But they just got off a tour. Dancing with the Stars Live just finished. So, I mean, I guess it does give them a nice bit of a break before they head back into the show, which will start in September. So, that's all good stuff. I'm very excited to see who else comes onto this season. It's always so fun to see the casting announcements.
Who is one of your guesses for who you think is gonna be or could be on this season?
Oh gosh. Robert Irwin was a big one because I kept seeing Robert Irwin all over TikTok of people guessing he was going to be in it. Um,
I have two in my head.
okay, you go first because I have no one on the top of my head.
Okay, one, I don't know why, but it keeps coming into my head. Walton Goggins. I feel like
Ooh,
he'd pop off at dancing.
yes.
But my second one, a bit controversial, but I feel like after last season, never say never. Hear me out. Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Oh my God. You know what? It makes sense.
And she just started posting dancing TikToks.
Yeah, that's true.
Suspicious.
Suspicious. I'm trying to think who else is like have like oh, I don't know. I mean, there's always your athletes, there's always like your reality TV show people. I'm trying to think of like younger actors or actresses. I would love to see, she's way too busy for this, but McKenna Grace would be great on the
I
show.
was just gonna say that.
McKenna Grace would be amazing on the show, I bet.
We should, you know who we should say? Lola Tung.
Yes, Lola Tung, I think would also be fantastic. We're saying these people that we just finished saying how busy they are as actors, and
It's a
also
Lola Tung summer. We gotta stick
it
with it.
is. Okay, there's our four top guesses and fan casting for
We'll
us.
see. We'll see how many are actually right.
But ending off our news today, a show that I really love, I just finished watching the fourth season, Sweet Magnolias over on Netflix has officially been renewed for season 5. This is a show I've loved watching with my mom since the first season came out in 2020, spring of 2020. It's just such a wholesome, sweet show. It is based off of the book series of the same name, Sweet Magnolias. I love the storylines. Season 4, they packed so much into season 4. I was shocked. In those 10 episodes, everything that we went through, that was a roller coaster. Anyone who watches the show, anyone on here, you'll know what I mean. I'm not going to spoil it because it's still only a few months old, so I won't spoil it yet. But roller coaster. I was flabbergasted at everything that happened in season 4. And so there was a lot of changes by the end of the season. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen in season 5 because I'm expecting some big jumps. I'm excited to see what happens. Excited to see where our sweet magnolias end up and what's going to be happening with their lives because things are changing. All the kids are grown up. So I'm very excited to see where season 5 takes us.
All right, well, moving on to our next segment. Nicole, what was your watch of the week?
Like I said earlier, I've been rewatching The Summer I Turned Pretty. Sweet Magnolia season 4. I binged all like during the last week since the last time we recorded the last episode. So it's been a TV week for me. I did go and see Warfare last week. Finally had a chance to see Warfare. It came out a little bit later here in Australia, so got to the theater for that one. And it was a hard watch. And I don't mean that in that it was a bad movie. I just mean that with the subject material and what it was about, and thinking about the fact that this is obviously based off real life events, a very hard watch. It's very visceral. It is very graphic. I mean, all of the guys in this movie are so incredible. They put on like what a great performance from all of them. You can so feel this emotion and this pain just pouring through the screen. Like everyone said who's seen it, the sound is crazy in this film, and sound is one of the most important aspects in this film because the beginning of it starts off with very little dialogue, so a lot of it is pretty silent unless there's other random sounds happening. And then once events start to pick up, the sound really is very loud, very all over the place. It's pretty much what I was expecting it to be, and it's pretty much what you think it'll be. But I know some people were like, once they saw it, they were like, oh yeah, this isn't exactly what you expect it to be. Personally, for me, I kind of expected it to be this kind of one setting war film, just focusing in on this group of guys, what they went through in this 90 minutes that the film portrays, what happens to them. So that was the gist without giving too much away of the film. But yeah, definitely a very hard watch. I think that would be a hard like rewatch film because it was hard going into it knowing what it was going to be about, and it was hard sitting through watching it, and just very visceral, like I said. So, I mean, I thought it was a great movie, but if that is not your thing, I totally understand why you would not want to put yourself through that because it is a difficult watch and a difficult events on the screen to digest. So yeah, but if that is a movie you think you'd like to see, then that is still in theaters. Gracie, what is your watch of the week?
My first watch of the week was Queen of the Ring, which I didn't really know much about going into it. I have to say, I was extremely pleasantly surprised. This was such a powerful movie. It's a true story, which makes it like that much more powerful. But if you are a female looking for inspiration on like achieving your goals and working against the odds, this is quite possibly the best movie for that. It follows Mildred Burke's story. For those of you who don't know, she was a champion wrestler. She went on to become the highest paid female athlete of her time, and she did all of this wrestling while all female wrestling was actually banned in most of America. So she was killing it. She was also a single working mother, so she had a lot on her plate and still managed to become such an iconic figure in the wrestling and female athlete world. That being said, the performances were phenomenal. I cannot say enough good things about this cast. It's also a stacked cast, which is so crazy to me because up until I got sent this film, I had only really heard little things about it, but this should be such a big movie with the cast it has. This cast includes, it also includes a lot of Canadians, which I feel the need to say thank you for including Canadians. Anyway, it stars Emily Bett Rickards, Gavin Castellano, who we were talking about from The Summer I Turned Pretty, Josh Lucas, Tyler Posey, Walton Goggins, who we were also talking about earlier, Marie Avgeropoulos, Cara Boneau, Adam Demos, Francesca Eastwood. Like the list keeps going. It's all these huge actors and actresses bringing this story to life, and every single person absolutely killed their role. So I don't know if you're into wrestling. I'm personally not a huge wrestling fan, but I still found this movie so moving and like it wasn't boring, which usually for true stories, they really have to hook you in. But this one just felt like constant wondering what's next, being amazed by what each person is doing, and just seeing the way that history is kind of like shifted when people actually stand up for the things that they love. So, that being said, go watch Queen of the Ring. I know it's coming back to theaters for Mother's Day weekend. So if you didn't get the chance to see it when it was first in theaters, it's coming back. But it's also going to be streaming on May 9th, I believe. So check it out.
All right, we are back joining you from another day, obviously, here if you're watching on video on Spotify. you hear no difference.
It's a
But
new day.
it is a new day. We are back. We are so excited to be sharing with you our another Simple Favor review. Of course, the, I would say, very highly anticipated sequel to A Simple Favor, starring Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Gracie and I both had a chance to watch the film earlier this week, thanks to our friends at Prime Video Canada and the TARO Group. So, a huge thank you, of course, to them as always. And let's jump into it because I think we have a lot to say. We were very pleasantly happy with this sequel, I will start by saying, and we have lots to talk about. So, Gracie, what was your favorite part of this whole sequel? Because there was so many bold, adventurous twists and turns in this, and so I'd love to know what your favorite one was.
I want to start off by saying Nicole and I are very vocal in the fact that we are not the biggest fan of sequels if they're just made for the sake of being made. If it's a good quality sequel, then pop off. So we were very skeptical going into this film, even though it was highly anticipated from the first one. There's always that, will it ruin the first movie or will it add on? So I'm happy to report that I actually really enjoyed this film. It is a fantastic sequel, in my opinion, and I think Nicole feels the same because we were talking about it before. Um, so it was very well done, and I think it was kind of the perfect sequel for this film. It's action-packed, it keeps you guessing. There's just a lot that goes on in it, and I love that it's set in a different location so that it's kind of like a fresh vibe, but it still stays true to like the original. That being said, I believe your question was, what was my favorite part?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I was like, wait, my favorite part of the film, other than what they call the Italian stallion in the movie. My favorite
Correct.
part. Correct. It's a quote from the movie. Don't at me, guys. Um, I just really like the banter in between Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Like obviously there's been a lot of rumors and discourse about the fact that they didn't want to do a second film together. And even if that's true, we don't know if it's true. They absolutely killed these roles and this dynamic. It's giving like they want to be best friends, but they also still hate each other from what happened in the first movie, which is valid. Their dynamic is just so funny, and I feel like it brings a lot of humor to what would be a very serious, like, mystery thriller otherwise. And I'm obsessed with it. Like, it had my entire theater laughing within the first 20 minutes, which is always so nice to see, like, people are actually engaged. But it just kept going throughout, and I feel like it was the perfect mix of this iconic duo while also keeping such a strong storyline. So that's what I loved specifically. But what about you, Nicole? What was it from this movie that you loved?
I agree with you on a lot of things that you just said. I one of my standouts for me was the banter and that comedic chemistry that Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick bring to these characters. I think Emily and Stephanie are hilarious together. Even when you think maybe you shouldn't be laughing at the jokes, you can't
Mm.
help but laugh because it's just so great. So truly, I thought their performances really also elevate and help you accept these twists and turns that otherwise you might think are just bonkers. I think with both of these films, A Simple Favor and Another Simple Favor, you have to just accept the absurdities and just go into it because it's so entertaining, but just throw reality out the window, which I think is a reason why I love them so much because it's just such a funny ride. But specifically, there's a few things I loved for the soundtrack. I really love that they used the
Mm.
song You Don't Own Me. They use that at one point in the film, and I thought that was a really good scene specifically that it was used in for it. But the entire soundtrack is very bubbly as well. So I think that really well accompanied everything that it went with. So I think those choices there were very strong. I love the name of Stephanie's blog in this film. It's called A Pinch of Murder. Of course,
Mhm.
with the first film we know she has kind of more of like a mom, like this one is still aimed at moms, but the one in the original film was very like artsy, crafty, cooking. Now we have a whole different side of Stephanie that we're seeing in this film that I really enjoyed as well. And Lastly, I think the costuming and the color, Gracie kind of
Oh,
mentioned like how vibrant it was. The costuming and the color in this film is so amazing. The cinematography,
beautiful.
everything, stylistic choices is just a very beautiful film to watch. And the costumes again were so great. I loved the costumes in the first film, specifically Emily's costumes, of course, are very high end. They're very stylish, they're very big, they're very bright and this film just elevates that by like 10,000. So I really loved seeing all of that in this film. So yeah, there is I will just say that you definitely need to know the story for A Simple Favor going into Another Simple Favor because this entire sequel is supported on the fact of viewers knowing the first film very well because it uses inside jokes again that we hear and they kind of add on to that. It's just a very continuous storyline. So it picks up not right where it left off, but it picks up with the ideas of what we left off in the ending of A Simple Favor. So all of that is to say, I thought this was a very admirable sequel. I'm sad that it's not getting a theatrical release because Gracie and I
Mm.
were just talking about this before we started recording. This would be such, I mean, Gracie saw it in the theater, but this would be such a fun movie for audiences to be able to experience in the theater. But I'm glad that still Prime Video is putting it out there for everyone.
Yeah, another thing that really stood out to me, I caught it while you were saying it. I remembered it. But the amount of foreshadowing that is used in this film is insane. Like thinking back on it now, there's so many little things during the start of the movie that really help you depict what's happening at the end of the film.
Hmm.
I could go on and on about all of them. Like obviously there's this beautiful scenery with like a cliff's edge where they're talking about history and all of that. Thought that was beautiful. But one that really stood out to me was the wedding dress.
Hmm.
I loved the veil and the wedding dress. I was a bit concerned when I first saw it, but then I realized it was all like crystals and decoration, but I think it's just so powerful. It's in the trailer, obviously. Emily has a beautiful wedding dress on and it has like it fades into red from white and it's just so beautiful. Kind of looks like blood, which is fitting from the first movie, but definitely goes crazy for the amount that happens in the second movie.
I will say the one critique that I do have, which is what I've seen on a lot of reviews that I've been looking at and watching online, is like I said a few minutes ago, you really have to embrace the absurdities of it.
Mhm.
However, the third act of this film did get a bit much in the fact that it just kind of kept throwing curveballs at you. Um, it wasn't the absurdness of it for me. It was just the amount of them that
Mm.
just kept getting thrown at us as viewers. You really had to keep track of where the story was at and what little connections things have to each other. So that got a little bit redundant for me at the end, but
Yeah.
it didn't take away from the fact that I still really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, I think it worked in the sense that there's multiple storylines going on in this. So it is going to be a bit much, but I do agree that the third act felt like as soon as you figured out something, they were like, and here's more.
And another one.
And another. So yeah, that was a bit much, but obviously it wraps up very nicely. And I think fans of the original will obviously love this one. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for this universe.
Absolutely. I will end it on saying for me that I love when movies use the title in the script somehow. And this movie is no exception, and the times that it does that, I thought was really funny. So I do enjoy when they do that. So keep an eye out for that. Keep your magnifying glass out looking for those. But yeah, I was very happy with the sequel, and this is out on May 1st on Prime Video.
Moving on to our next segment. Nicole, what was your song of the week?
My song of the week. This is a great question. I'm gonna have to go with an older Luke Combs song came on my playlist on Shuffle the other day, and I forgot how much I loved it. But a song from the What You See Is What You Get album called All Over Again. I
Mhm.
love it, and my country playlist, I've said this before, Spotify I feel like plays me the same songs all the time. So when I get a song on Shuffle that I haven't heard in a while, it's like striking gold. is I think. So Luke Combs all over again. Great song that you should all go stream. But Gracie, what is your song of the week?
I have two. One new one, one old one. So it's a balance.
I like it. It evens it out.
My new one, I'm sure Nicole can guess, is Benson Boone just released Mystical Magical. And this song has been stuck in my head since I heard the first like few seconds of it on TikTok. So the fact that he released it is so great. And it sounds like falling in love in a rom-com. I literally made a whole video about this song. So I'm obsessed. It is kind of sampled of Olivia Newton-John's Physical, which I realized. So we love a good sample, but he made it his own. Benson Boone can do no wrong. Okay. My older song, which I also talked to Nicole about because I was just having like a freak out when this came onto my shuffle randomly. Would You Go With Me by Josh Turner. This song, okay, I grew up with this song playing just whenever it came on the radio. Such a good song. Once again, another song that feels like falling in love. I said to Nicole, this is what I want a relationship to feel like. I want to be swept off my feet by this man who has a gorgeous voice and is just singing like the most heartfelt words ever. So I went to the countryside this week for Nicole, but I love those songs. So yeah,
I like when you bear your country music roots.
you're welcome.
Well, moving into our final segment of the show, as always, upcoming releases. Starting off with May 1st, the Four Seasons series is on Netflix.
And as we said before, another Simple Favor is coming out on May 1st as well to Prime Video.
And ending off May 1st, we have 100 Foot Wave Season 3 on HBO.
Moving on to May 2nd, we have Thunderbolts, which will be in theaters.
Also in theaters and limited released, we have Rust.
Also limited release, we have The Surfer.
And following suit in limited release, we have Salvable. And moving into May 4th, we have The Walking Dead, Dead City Season 2 on AMC. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you're still hanging around and hanging out with us, thank you so, so much. And again, we want to give everyone a huge thank you for celebrating a year of As Seen on Screen. We are so happy to be here delivering your weekly dose of entertainment news, reviews, and interviews. So, we will be back at the same time next week. I'm Nicole.
I'm Gracie, and you can watch or listen to us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.